Also understand what's going to happen in terms of the large cap space. NSE will be having a meeting today, and this is to understand what could be the candidates, in fact, which could be the candidates that could come in on Nifty 50, the ones that will go out as well. Nuvama has put out a report on the back of which Puneet is getting us all the details. Puneet, big Nifty Rejig that is expected today. Who comes in, who goes out, and what's the impact that you're seeing?
Well, thank you for that. So definitely seeing two big, exclusions as well as two big inclusions in the Nifty, and one of them is definitely going to be Hero, the much talked about additions. First, Indigo, and this was one which was expected to come in this particular rejig. It has seen steady inflows when it entered the Nifty Next 50 as well, and over the last few years since it has been in that index, that's going to be one of the most pivotal ones to come into the Nifty, being the only profitable airline currently in the listed space. So watch out for this one. The other one's another stock that's been expensive on the valuations, but definitely one of the most fundamentally sound hospital chains. Max Health is going to be the other one. On the losing side though, Hero, while it has seen a steady run up over the last 6 to 8 weeks basis on what's happened in the GST rate cut, and could be one of the biggest beneficiaries of that aspect as well. We are going to see exclusion of Hero, as well as something like an IndusInd Bank, which has had its issues amongst others. When you look at the stocks, of course, we're seeing and expecting an inflow of about $500 to $507 million for something like an Indigo. Max Health is going to see over 400 million of inflows, while we've also seen the likely exclusion of something like an IndusInd and 240 million outflow on this one, along with a similar number for Hero MotoCorp as well. The other one, which is Nifty Next 50, and here is where it gets interesting, because we see a lot of inflows for this index. It generally gets a lot of the mid caps, which have done really well in this aspect, and hence the valuation multiple for the Nifty Next 50 is generally much higher than the Nifty as well. So if we can go on to the previous list, Solar Industries was definitely one of them that I wanted to mention from that list. Mankind, Siemens Energy, Hindustan Zinc, as well as Union Bank. While Union Bank was also expected to come into this list as well. The other ones, Hindustan Zinc was the other one. It did miss, previous inclusion despite meeting 3 criteria, and that now stands having a stronger chance subject to the parent index that we spoke about as well. Likely exclusion from the Nifty, of course, Indigo is going to be one of them, but Dabur has been underperforming the index for a while now, and hence we're going to see that exclusion happening for the Nifty Next 50. And finally, the timelines. July 31st is the cutoff date. Official announcement is expected in the second half of August, and the effective date is expected on 29 September of 2025.
Got it. All right. So you have a list. Thanks so much, Puneet, for that. You have a list of stocks that are making way and entering. But having said that, it's always interesting to look from an academic perspective and also the short-term impact of flows. But data in the past has suggested that just because there is an inclusion doesn't mean very much for the stock. Ultimately, fundamentals take charge.
Absolutely, because you have an example of a Hinzing itself, right? Yes. Which Puneet did mention that actually previously missed the inclusion despite meeting the criteria, though the chances are high, taking into consideration it's made an entry in the F&O market.